3 easy practices to let your inner child shine like the brightest star in the sky. Let's get on. So the first thing you can do is to be playful. Not take life so seriously. I think when we are in this game of life, this journey called life, we get very stuck in our ways, in our ego mind, and our very heavy, dense emotions. And that's not to say these experiences we go through are not valid. We go through a lot of tough times. But I think for me personally as well, that I take things way too seriously. I'm just like, why did I let that thing bother me? Why did I get so worked up about it? It's just like, chill, relax. Let's not take things so seriously and enjoy the human experience that we get to have right now. So I think when it comes to allowing your inner child to be playful, it's doing things that you used to love doing when you were a child. For me, I loved colouring, I loved reading magazines, I loved going out and building dens. I was outside a lot. I would go to the park with my friends, I would go on the swings. We would do utterly ridiculous things. Like one time we pulled this like lid off of this bin. If you're in the UK and you know what the public bins look like, it like slides off, I guess, so then the bin men can come and empty what's inside. So it slid off, and then we went inside it and then rolled down a big hill, and it had this big bolt screw thing that dug into it. I remember rolling down it and it was just digging in me the whole time. So I got up to some absolutely ridiculous things. So I was outside a lot. I know children these days don't really get outside as much as my generation used to. I think my generation, the millennials, were one of the last that really did spend a lot of time outside. And maybe you enjoyed like playing football outside with your friends, and it's doing these things we used to love doing as a child. And that's not to say, oh, go and roll down a hill in a bin right now, or like roll down a hill in a tire. This is just doing little simple things that bring you some joy. So if you did like colouring like I did as a child, go and get a colouring book. Go get an adult's colouring book, because there's actually other benefits to colouring rather than just it being fun. It's a very mindful experience and it's creative. And when we allow ourselves to do that, it brings us joy, it brings us happiness. And maybe you put on a film that you liked as a child. I do this quite a lot. I watch things like The Worst Witch. I watch Harry Potter a lot. I watch Matilda. I liked that as a child. And just these like childhood films and TV programs that I used to like is still available on some of like the streaming platforms and that. So I watch that. Just have a really good time, because that allows my inner child to come through. And the reason why we take life too seriously is because we are told to be good girls, be good boys, but because being silly is not serious and being playful is not serious in the real world, we're told to like act your age, stop being so silly, stop doing that. So then we grow up with this programming that we have to be good, we have to take things seriously and not enjoy life, not be playful, not be joyful. And this leads me on to my second thing to help your inner child shine bright, and that is to be creative. Because this leads on from where I was just saying about all the programming we get exposed to, whether that's from our parents, whether that's from the school education system, because the education system does this a lot, very subtly, but we're not often aware of it. Because often in the education system, they all focus on the academic side of things, the maths, the science, the English, and they don't invest much into creative topics, creative subjects like art, music, imaginative like play, and helping us to be creative beings. It's all about economics, money, statistics, numbers, drilling us with information and pushing out that imagination rather than having our creative flow there. It's just about remembering facts. So now what I'm telling you is go be creative and do those creative projects, because children are naturally creative. Because of their innocence, because of their imagination, they haven't been indoctrinated and programmed with some negative belief system yet from the Matrix. And the thing is, children are often told things like, well, art doesn't make money, you're not going to make it being a musician, you're not going to do this and this and this. All the creative industry topics are not successful, are not deemed successful in this society. So then children shut that away and they focus heavily on the more academic stuff. So if you want your inner child right now to shine bright and come through, go be creative, go draw, go do some painting, go make music, because that is our natural state, and allowing that inner wisdom to come through us and onto the paper or in that sheet of music, whatever you create right now. And when I've done these practices, it's helped me to feel more lighter, feel more joyful, feel more happiness, because the inner child is allowed to come through. And if you want to feel more joy, feel lighter, and allow your inner child to come through and remother your inner child, on the 16th of June, I will be running a online inner child workshop. This will talk about the healing of the inner child, practices to help you reconnect your inner child, heal the inner child, love your inner child, and how you can use your creative passions to alchemize the inner child wounds. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, click the link in the pinned comments below and save your spot now for that workshop. And hopefully I will see you there. So my third and final easy practice to help your inner child shine bright is to talk to her or him in a loving and positive way. We often have this negative inner critic, this inner voice that puts ourselves down, it puts us down. I have quite a loud inner critic, and it was quite subtle, it's quite unconscious, but it was very loud. But because I wasn't aware of it, I didn't realize that I've now become aware of it. So now what I do is speak positive things out loud to myself. And that's just in general. That's not even to do with the inner child, but that's what I do pretty much every day. And we can do this to our own inner child. And it works even more if you have a photo of yourself as a child and you can speak out loud lovingly some positive things like you are loved, you are safe, and you can hold yourself as you say this, because that's what I do. I hold myself in embrace and I say, I love you, you are worthy, you are safe, I am here for you, you are deeply, divinely loved, and you are good enough. And you can come up with so many of these, and you can just say these things whenever you feel like you are being triggered. Just know when you are being triggered that it's often the wounded, scared little child within, and we can say things like you are safe, you are worthy, and you are enough, because these are often the deep wounded beliefs that we hold on to. These three practices have really supported me on my own healing journey and helped me to reconnect and remother my own inner child. And I hope they do that for you too. Don't forget, if you want to join us on the 16th of June for my Inner Child Alchemy workshop, click the link in the pinned comments below for more details. And I will see you over there. Much love.